Here's a short story about a guy who's definitely having a tough month, who is presently disowning his mother and dumping his fiancee after they both royally crossed the line. And how'd that happen? Well, the fiance's been cheating on him for a very long time, and the mother knew. And the mother's been encouraging it. Turns out mom has got some serious freaking issues, and not to mention is evil here, and has always had issues towards her son, and yet he's tried to give her the benefit of the doubt and help her. Well, guess what? He's done with her, and that's that. And I'll be going to go over here, guys, making the point that anybody crosses you too far, even family, you got to cut them off. And if somebody has shown you who they are all along, even a family member, don't think suddenly you can change them and help them. They're pretty screwed up, and best to cut them out of your life. Titled, I'm 35 years old, my mother enabled my fiance's affair, and I'm questioning everything. He said, I moved back home recently after living in several different states throughout my 20s. One of the main reasons I left was because I was ready to start my own life, but also because I needed to separate myself from my parents. They both had deeply troubled childhoods and always struggled with understanding concepts like boundaries and respect. Once I turned 18 years old, I got my own place ASAP and started building my life. Well, that's a terrible childhood. I'm sorry he went through that. And I'm glad he got out of there at 18. But that's when you don't have contact with these people because they're not going to change. My parents separated when I turned 18. I learned quickly that after their separation, my mom had a hard time separating me from my dad. We almost look identical. I've been the subject of constant projection since then. She assumes I'm answering like my father or have his attitude. Even when I'm completely quiet, treating us as the same person, even though we're entirely different, down to our career paths. So your mom mixes you up with your dad? Obviously, she's got mental issues. Big time. Or this sounds like people when they get old and have dementia, and a grandparent thinks the grandson is their son, and that type of thing. And she's blaming you for all your dad's actions, even though she's a psycho. Okay. Well, around age 34 years old, I decided to move back home. My mother is getting older, and I wanted to get to know the woman I'm planning to marry, so I brought my fiancé with me. You're now re-entering the life of the woman who's that messed up back then, and now she's older, she's no doubt even worse, and you want to introduce your fiancé to her? Smack! And you're moving back in with her? Are you out of your mind? There's a reason you left at 18. She hasn't changed. But he has to learn. My mom owned a rather large home with enough space for us to bond over dinner while maintaining our privacy. Perfect for a 35-year-old who values his independence. Dude, you're going back to live with your mom? Even if she was a good person and had a lot of issues, still, what fiancés want to get together with a guy who's living with his mom? I gotta say the obvious here. It's now been 1.3 years living together, and some things have come to light that have been complete ego death for me. Oh, yeah. I recently learned that before I even drove us 300 miles to move here, my fiancé and mother had a conversation where my fiancé told her she was already in the process of leaving me and was unsure she'd actually commit to this move. Okay, that was an awkward conversation, and Mama knew this. Well, because Mama hates you and thinks you're your dad, she was fine with this. Unknown to me, she had already been sleeping with someone else for a month. Ironically, someone we both met in passing at a speed dating event. We didn't attend the event, just happened to be at the same restaurant where it was being held in January 2023. But I now know she kept in touch with him. We moved in on December 2024. Okay, you all were out to dinner, and they had some speed event date thing going on. I didn't know they still did that. Over on the other side of the restaurant, and maybe when he went to take a leak, she went over and saw some guy, flirted with him, got his number, and they've been hooking up ever since. Great girl. My mother not only supported her cheating, but kept it hidden from me, allowing her to move in and continue hooking up with this guy while deciding who she wanted. Holy shit. Well, Mama still hates you. Should have moved in with Mom. At this point in our relationship, we had exactly one argument for the 4 years we were dating. This had been the most peaceful relationship I'd ever known. I never truly understood the cheating, but I guess I'm not supposed to. I heard my mom hug my fiancé and said to her, I know what you're up against, sweetheart, patting her on the back like she's surviving a war. How can she know what my fiancé's up against when we haven't lived near each other in 11 years? Well, because your mom is effed up, and your mom can't distinguish you and your dad and thinks that you're him, or at least you're going to be just like him. and all that. And she's applauding the girlfriend. Why don't you just tell the girlfriend to break up with you? Because she wanted to punish you. I know this story's fucking crazy, guys, and maybe he's making this up, but regardless. Due to pattern recognition and being highly observant, several Freudian slips and observations later, this had been the most traumatizing experience of my life. I can certainly imagine. And this is why you should have gotten back into communication, let alone living with your psycho mother. Let her fucking rot. When we moved into her house, this woman was still my girlfriend. My mother watched me buy a ring, propose, and celebrate with me, all while knowing about the affair. 2025 has been my humiliation ritual. I proposed believing we were on the same page and wanted the same things, but I guess along the way she stopped being my friend. Or maybe she never was to begin with. She wasn't anything. I'm in the process of separating now. I already changed my mail to a P.O. box, waiting to receive a $70,000 check from a contract I landed, and then I'm out. As long as there's a breath in my mother's body, she will never hear from me again. Well, thank the Lord for that. A lot of people want to benefit of the doubt with family members. They figure a lot of times people will have a bad childhood and then they'll move on and then think maybe, they were overreacting or remember things differently or teenage anger. No, the parents were fucking assholes. She had never gotten back with her, involved with mom again, let alone live with her. On paper, I think I'm a solid guy. I stay in shape, have a good career. I've always been told I'm kind. I never had any trouble meeting women. I just didn't think I'd have to find another one. I'm so comfortable with our routine, work out at 5 a.m., work 9 to 5, home for dinner and intimacy, but I can't stay here. No, you can't stay there. I know you can't be with this girl. She's a frickin' cheater. She's a snake. And she's probably bored. She's with you, obviously, for you to provide. She was going to probably marry this dude and have fun on the side because he can provide. I'm more afraid to meet someone new at this age, realizing I wasted time again, and I'll be 40 trying to find love. Smack! That shouldn't be your goal in life, dude. Stop watching the fucking romance movies. Number one, you're 35. You got plenty of years to go. I'm fucking 13 years older than you. Do you hear me worrying about that shit? Not that it matters to me, because I'm not an idiot. But you can find somebody, but you got to pull your head out of your ass and look for the red flags and all that. Searching for love. I get it if he wants to have kids, but guess what? This fucker can have kids for a long time. I've only been in 3 serious relationships my whole life. I don't commit easily, and I think that's also why I'm naive in some ways. I haven't been in situations where I had to watch for signs of cheating. I had to get this off my chest because I now see the only honest woman in my life is my therapist. Well, I wouldn't even go that far because there's a lot of effed up therapists out there. A lot of, God forbid, you got a feminist one. Yes, cut mom out of your life, completely never talk to her again no matter what. And this fiancé of yours, obviously she's done. And best you start really learning what to watch out for in terms of cheating, red flags and all that, because there's a lot of dirty, rotten snakes out there that are going to take full advantage of you. And yeah, you may get girls to pay attention to you, but you obviously have a habit. It's interesting that he attracted a snake as his girlfriend and fiancé, who in some ways is just like his mother. It's amazing how that happens. So, bro, good for you for getting rid of them, and do your homework on who you get involved in the future. And just because you're 35 doesn't mean life is over. The problem is you're looking for love, and you may rush into things and end up in a bad situation again. But don't ever talk to your mom again, ever. Now some comments here. One guy says here, what your ex-fiancé did was horrible, but what your mother did was diabolical. You're right to sever ties with her now and forever. You might want to remind her that when she is ill and infirm, she can reach out to your ex-fiancé as that's who she chose. What a horrible woman. Yeah, if there's... I always say, and I mean this, that women do not love the same way as men do. In fact, they don't love at all. Men can truly love. But if there's any love, it will be a mother and her child, particularly her son. That being said, there are evil ones out there that can't possibly love even their own kids and do horrible shit to their sons. This is one of them. Another guy says, this is the best thing that could ever happen to you, stranger. Had you not moved back home, would you have discovered this? You may have married this woman and spent so much money on the wedding. You also cut off your mom, who seemed to not be supportive of you in any way. It may seem like it now, but this is a blessing. Dating is not easy, but it doesn't have to be hard. Watch out for early red flags. You will find your person. Well, the problem is it seems like this guy doesn't know what red flags are. Add one more. This guy said, this is the kind of situation that is so batshit crazy, you get why someone would go into contact with her mom. Can't blame you. Finding your own peace after this will heal the scorn and deception that you had to endure, but that you will eventually overcome. Well, he will overcome that. after many, many therapy hours and reading lots of Reddit comments and all that. But anyhow, guys, there you go. If there's signs somebody in your family or in your life is nothing but poison and garbage, especially family, you got to cut them off too. And don't go thinking that a leopard is going to change his spot, or a tiger is going to change his stripes. It doesn't happen. And if she was a dirty, rotten, diabolical scoundrel back in the day, she's the same way now. Cut off your mom, had nothing to do with her. End of story. Amen.